You look like a vegan. Thank you. I mentioned before I wanted to do a video on comments I get on shorts because I find them weird, funny, mostly weird. For those who don't know, shorts are short videos on YouTube. It's basically YouTube's answer to TikTok. I get a lot of different comments on my shorts videos because they end up being shown to people who probably have like no interest in veganism whatsoever, right? They're just watching whatever comes up, whatever short follows, right? It's like TikTok. That's how TikTok is, I think, right? And so they get this, here's what I ate today on a vegan diet. And it's like, what? So I get a lot of comments that are quite a bit different from what I would see on like my regular longer form what I ate todays. Not totally though. There's a lot of crossover, I guess. But anyway, let's see what's going on. So first, there are quite a few of these like, I don't care, who cares, we don't care. Like, what? I don't know. I feel like these are exclusively like 12-year-old boys. I just feel like that is such a 12-year-old boy thing to say, to take the time to comment on a video that you don't care about the video. That's so weird. It's not even 60 seconds long. You can skip it, right? You can just swipe, I think, and then it goes to the next one. Like, why you would take the time to comment is so strange. Too much sugar / carbs. These are just everywhere. There are so many comments like this. These probably make me the saddest, to be honest, like to be that worried about carbohydrates, to think that in order to be healthy, obviously there are people, if you have diabetes or something, right? There are people whose doctors are going to tell them you have to be careful with the types of carbs you eat, how many carbs, blah, blah, blah. But for most of us, that's just not a concern. And to think that's a concern, that you have to be so worried about carbs, all carbs, in order to be healthy, that's so sad. And I say all carbs because none of these shorts had a lot of refined carbs, added sugar. I think the recommendation is like 22, 25 grams, something like that per day for the average person. So either people think I'm eating like a bunch of added sugar, or this is a response to all of the fruit I eat, which is a good amount. I think in one of these I had like a giant mango, just like a huge, ridiculous mango, and strawberries and banana smoothies and all of that. Obviously, if all you're eating is fruit, that's one thing, right? That's a concern. But for most of us, fruit is really good. For most of us, we don't eat enough fruit. And I don't know, man, to be worried about fruit, about eating a couple bananas or mangoes or whatever, that sucks. Too processed, of course. Now, this is definitely on my regular what I ate today's as well. Protein powder is so bad for us. It's carcinogenic. You shouldn't promote it. That's a first. I don't think I've ever gotten that protein powder is carcinogenic. I'm assuming they're talking about the heavy metal testing that's been done on them that is really ridiculous and totally overblown, but that's for another video maybe. How is this supposed to be healthy? It's almost all junk food. This one was on the third short I posted. So there's a protein bar made from Whole Foods. It's a homemade protein bar. A bowl of beans and rice and peppers and onion and avocado, whole wheat pasta and veggies, banana spinach and soy milk smoothie. Yeah, there's some protein powder. There's some mock meats. There's some chocolate. So I guess that's almost all junk food. How is the perception that different? And also, you really want to set the bar so high that it's basically impossible to eat healthy. That seems like a bad idea. To be clear, I could eat less processed stuff. I could cut out the protein powder and the mock meats and the chocolate and whatever else. But this is what works for me. And, you know, my BMI is good. My waist circumference is good. Those are like two of the most important things. No matter how many times people say BMI doesn't matter, then look at waist circumference. That is possibly a more useful metric. You have to find what works for you. And also remember diminishing returns. I don't see anyone talk about this like ever. Well, people making these kinds of statements, which I guess makes sense. But like if you're someone moving from your standard processed diet, low fiber diet to like what I'm eating, that's huge changes, right? That's probably going to dramatically benefit your health. But me removing protein powders and mock meats and chocolate and replacing them with like beans and veggies, that's a lot of diet sacrifice to me to maybe possibly improve my health like a little bit. Like if you're into that, if that's worth it for you, that's fine. But I don't think people realize that's what they're advocating for. I think for most of us, that sort of tiny improvement, if there even would be any measurable improvement, because again, I'm already eating beans, I'm already eating vegetables. Yeah, not worth it. To not have chocolate anymore, to not have some fun stuff, not worth it. And as I've said in other videos, just equating all processed. I mean, maybe this person isn't talking about the protein powder. I guess that's not fair. But a lot of the other comments are lumping the protein powder with all the other stuff. Like, really? Protein powder is not the same as a little ice cream cone. It's just not at all. There are benefits to protein powder. You know, it's okay. Fine. These comments really make me laugh. So many just saying how sad this diet is, how sad it makes them. That's what they give me in hell. I don't know. I think they could be more creative in hell, right? It'd be like something that looks really delicious, but it's really like nails and buttholes. I don't know. I find all of those gross. If you're saying it looks bland, I like this comment. She's putting seasoning in literally everything. Does bland mean something else now, or are you just stupid? Okay, that's a little mean, but like, yeah, I think this was on the one with the rice and beans and stuff. Like, there's chili powder and stuff. I guess I don't say that, but like, why would you just assume that it's just beans? There's nothing. There's no flavoring. It's just beans and avocado and rice. That's it. Come on. This kind of stuff is where it really feels like they're starting from either they don't like me, maybe it's someone who already is familiar with me, doesn't like me, or they don't like veganism. And so instead of being in any way charitable, you just have to see everything as gross and like, obviously she wouldn't add salt. She's a vegan. There was a funny tweet. Vegan restaurants need to learn that salt is vegan. Yeah. Portland's better about that. There are lots of, well, that's probably just because there's so many vegan restaurants. Of course, there are going to be some who know how to properly flavor things. So yeah, weird to assume I don't flavor things, but like I get, you know, maybe not being into a bowl of like rice and beans and veggies or something. That's fine. I get that. Or this, right? I mean, this is pretty sad. I think I said in the video I needed to go shopping, or I wanted to use up food, something like that. A dinner that screams, I haven't been shopping in a week. Definitely not my usual dinner. But again, you know, if you don't like vegans or veganism, then you might be motivated to not hear that part or to forget that part. I don't know. Maybe they're just being silly. Probably that. Starvation diet. This is not what I normally get on my Weight Today's. It's so strange. It's on like all of the shorts, I think, except for the recent one, because that one's so new. It's only really been seen by my subscribers, right? I don't think it's been on the short shelf very much, but yeah, all the other three are just full of, how is this healthy? This looked like a day of eating for a 6-year-old, not a grown woman. Someone actually responded to that one by attempting to put it all into Cronometer and getting basically what I said, about 2,000 calories and 100 grams of protein. Again, on this other short, some saying that it looked like 1,400 calories, not 2,000 calories. To be fair, I did forget to say, what was that? I did forget to mention the additional carrot cake cookies. I had 2 more later on in the day, but even without them, it's not 1,400. I guess it shouldn't be surprising because we have so many studies showing how poor people are at guessing how much food they're eating. Like, most of us think we're eating way less than we actually are. Like, I get it, this looks like a tiny plate of food, but those 2 tenders, that's like 200 calories. And then the dressing, it looks tiny, but that's like all fat. It's a cashew dressing. It's this yummy, what's the blog? It's like Vegan Detoxinista. It's like the worst possible name you could ever come up with, but it's a yummy recipe. But yeah, it's like mostly cashews. There's a lot of fat in that. That's like 100 calories of dressing right there. Fat is 9 calories per gram, protein and carbs 4 calories per gram, and I eat a lot of fat. I also have a lot of fat. That's the weirdest thing too, like starvation diet. What? You know what? They're not seeing my tatas in the shorts, are they? But still, well, I guess the portrait really does make your face look weirder and thinner, doesn't it? I wonder if that has something to do with it. Like, people can't see my body. They can't see that I'm a little bit of a thick girl, at least on the top. So, I don't know, but even still, like, my face, I look like I'm starving? Jesus Christ. Less funny stuff, but in the same vein, a couple of comments, only a couple, I think. This is an eating disorder. What? This just helps support my own little theory that most people have no idea what eating disorder means. Same with like narcissism, right? And psychopath or sociopath. People are using these terms and they just have no idea that they have definitions, not really sociopath, but like narcissism, psychopath, eating disorder, and then all the specific eating disorders, like they have requirements, quote unquote, and just eating vegan or whatever, does not mean you have an eating disorder. Eating healthy, restricting food to like a healthy amount is not an eating disorder. Throwing up your food after you eat, that's an eating disorder. Throwing up even like low calorie food like tomatoes, like I did, that's an eating disorder. It's just so weird, and I worry it's confusing people because like I see comments now where people are saying just trying to lose weight is an eating disorder. What is happening? No. Like, why does this always happen whenever there is renewed or more attention to something that deserves attention? Eating disorders are terrible. I had one for a while. Fucking sucked. There's almost always a move to the other extreme where it's just like, well, now everything's an eating disorder. No, it's still pretty uncommon. Most people, vast majority of people, do not have eating disorders. Even people who try to lose weight, most of them do not end up with an eating disorder. Can we not just like talk about something without it becoming just like everything and like the most important thing in the world and something that like everyone struggles with? Can we not do that? Thank you. So not only do I have an eating disorder and I'm starving, I'm very malnourished, but also I'm like fat. These are my favorite, the like, why call it chicken? Why call it meatballs? It's not meat. Can't you call it something else? Why would you want to eat foods that are like meat? You're vegan. Don't you hate meat? Just so weird. It's so hard not to be like, you're an idiot. Like, you're really that stupid. You don't know why. But that's not fair. You know, people really may not understand why people would be vegan. Maybe they really do think, at least some of them, that like we just hate meat. Like, not in the ethical sense, but just no meat. We hate it and think it's disgusting. Seemingly a fair number of people really believe that. Basically, in case anyone is confused, we make replacements or variations on meat like vegan chicken because we like eating chicken. A lot of vegans aren't vegan because they think chicken is disgusting. They think it's a moral issue or a health issue. They think chicken is unhealthy. And so they still want to eat that food, like it's still yummy, so they want to make it in a vegan way, right? And then also just the like, don't call it chicken. Why would you call it that? Call it something else. Well, it makes it easier for people to find, right? I mean, if I want something that tastes like chicken but isn't chicken, it doesn't really make sense not to market your product as a chicken substitute. How am I going to find it then? I'm more likely to buy your product if you're like, hey, this is like chicken, right? Or a recipe, right? If you say this is, chicken Parmesan, but vegan, then like, hey, I might make it. But if you call it like, I don't even know, something totally different, how are people going to find it? How are the people who are looking for a vegan version of chicken Parmesan going to find it? It's basic reasoning. I don't know. Use your brains. Not enough protein. That's not 100 grams of protein. Same sort of thing. Lots of these type of comments. This one I love. High protein diet, my ass. Remove the protein supplements and you are left with chickpeas and soy, both of which are not quality sources of protein. So number one, if it's coming from protein powder, it just doesn't count. That's just not protein. And number two, most soy, like tofu and soy milk. I'm eating lots of soy milk in these videos. And of course, protein powder, soy protein powder, although I think I'm using pea. Yeah, I'm using the Vega, which is pea. But anyway, a lot of soy is like very good in terms of digestibility, very high quality protein. So not only am I not eating enough protein, but I'm eating too much protein. That's coming from vegans, right? That's double the protein your Brody needs. Just wasting money. Too much protein overworks the liver. No, it doesn't. You guys, please stop propagating this shit. I look unhealthy. This is a very, very popular one. You look sick. Sorry, had to be honest. You didn't though. You really didn't. You didn't have to say anything. I know, but like you don't actually have to use a comment. It's not in the like terms of service on YouTube. You don't ever have to leave a comment ever. Your completion is horrible. Well, I'm sorry. I like this one. Ooh, this person looks so unhealthy. I would never go back to veganism, especially not for 12 years. Okay, so this person has a grudge. They didn't do so well, and now they have a grudge against anyone who is eating vegan successfully, I guess. That's very sad. You look malnourished as fuck. Hey, look, it's the guy that's offended by refrigerators. I don't know what that means. I almost went to see a video talking about how refrigerators are bad, but I don't even want to know. I like not knowing the context. In the same vein, anemic, so many comments saying that I look anemic, I'm so pale, which I am pretty pale, and so of course that means I'm anemic. There couldn't be any other Possible reason it couldn't be because I don't spend a lot of time outside. I try to stay out of the sun. I live in Portland, number one, but we've had a lot of sun. It's the end of summer. It's really, really sunny here during the summer. Many people don't know that, but it's like full sun for, I think we went like 50 something days without rain. That's actually not super normal, but we get a lot of sun during the summer. But still, like I don't have, I've got a little bit, you can see there, a little bit of a tan, but not very much. I try to stay out of direct sunlight as much as possible, just because, I don't know, I like my skin looking pretty nice. And cancer. And lots of vegans. Like most of the vegan YouTubers I see are pretty tan. You look at someone like Ellen Fisher, she's been vegan for a long time and pretty tan. I mean, I'm no doctor, but could have something to do with living in Hawaii and not liking sunscreen. Maybe. And of course, if I look very unhealthy, then I also look very healthy. Kids, not very many of these. Honestly, I thought there'd be a lot more, but there are a few talking about me coercing my kids into being vegan. One person saying I should be in jail. Awesome, awesome responses to these, of course. I hope you also agree that no kid should ever be brought to a church service. Do you just feed your kids McDonald's and sugar every time they ask for it? Or do you realize that part of being a parent is getting to make those choices for your kids? Smoothies are bad. A few of these, which was kind of shocking, but I guess I'm seeing it more and more. Just people really think smoothies are unhealthy, mostly because of the fiber issue. There's this belief that when you blend up fruits and vegetables and whatnot, you are totally destroying the fiber. Might as well just eat sugar cubes. You can find a lot of articles saying basically that smoothies are bad. No sources, of course. And then on the other hand, you have more mainstream sources, dietetic organizations and whatnot, like recommending smoothies as like a healthy thing and a good source of fiber. The truth is maybe a little bit more nuanced than that, so I kind of wanted to talk about it for a couple minutes because it's interesting. So here's a more, some more nuanced view from brain-bodyhealth.com. I know, super reliable source, sounds like. Here's maybe a more reliable one from an RD that comes to basically the same conclusion. We don't really know much about what blending does in terms of how our bodies process it versus like whole fruit. Obviously, blending reduces it to smaller particles, but that's not the same as just destroying it entirely. Here's a really interesting, relevant study that I couldn't find mentioned in any of these smoothies are bad articles. Shocking. Basically, they tested 2 store-bought smoothies, this Innocent brand, I think it's in the UK. It's only whole fruits, no added sugars. And they found that they retained a lot of fiber and had low to medium glycemic load. Not necessarily proof that the fiber is exactly the same, right? You're getting the same experience from blending fruit and eating fruit, but very unlikely you're getting no benefit when you blend it. So if you're using smoothies specifically for like bowel issues, constipation, something like that, probably makes more sense to eat the fruit. Obviously, if you have diabetes or something, makes more sense to eat instead of blend or juice. But for most of us who are not diabetic, we're just trying to eat more fruits and vegetables, it makes sense to have smoothies if that makes it easier for us to do so, right? It's not like if you don't eat the smoothie, you're absolutely going to eat the same amount of fruits and vegetables in their whole form. And also it depends on what the smoothie is replacing. Are you replacing some processed cereal or something with a smoothie? Yeah, that's very clearly an improvement. Soy is bad, of course. So much soy is bad, and estrogen, and it's ruining the planet. If you're worried about that, then like really stop eating animals. But yeah, a lot of it just concerned with hormones and feminizing and all of that stuff. I've talked about that before. Don't I have a soy video? Wait. Point is, yeah, I'm surprised to see that going strong. It's been debunked for like a really long time, but okay. Splenda is bad. It's toxic. It's poison. I think one person said it's poison. No, it's just an artificial sweetener. It's really okay. A couple on coffee, not very many, but a couple. Your diet is really unhealthy already 5 seconds in when you said coffee, and then you had coffee again. Obviously no energy on a high protein diet. It makes me, like, I'm really curious. Do bodybuilders get these sort of comments when they have coffee? Like, do they get this, like, you don't have any energy, your high protein diet isn't working for you, or just any like regular fitness omnivore people, do they get the same sorts of comments about coffee? Like, I'm genuinely asking, I don't know, but it is easy for me to kind of assume that like this is a vegan thing. Like they're just looking for anything to criticize, and oh, she has to drink coffee because she has no energy because she's vegan and pale, she's anemic, you know, that sort of thing. But it honestly wouldn't surprise me if just anyone posting What I Ate Today's and including coffee is getting the like, oh, your diet leaves you with no energy, so you have to drink coffee. And now just a bunch of weird stuff that made me laugh. Oh my God, your hair and glasses are so vegan. Like laughing, crying face, and then face with glasses. I don't know what that means. Is that just like goofy? Oh no, because I have glasses. I'm an idiot. You look like a vegan. Thank you. I see a lip tattoo. I do have like a little, see, I don't think you can really see it from here. I don't know, but I have like a little birthmark or something somewhere on my upper lip. So maybe they think that's a tattoo. I have no tattoos. I think tattoos are awesome. I would love them, but ouchie. No, especially not on my lip. Oh God. And then my personal favorite, why your partner? Are you a cowboy, cowgirl? Just say the facts, period, or don't post. So I think they're mad because I say partner for my partner, which is just like, do some people just want to be mad? Is that what that is? Why would you be mad about that? Why do you care what I call my significant other or whatever? Why does it bother you? It's so strange. So the takeaway from all of this, to me, is don't post what you eat online, like ever. It's horrible. It's just a horrible experience. I guess if you're going to do it, just don't read any comments ever. It's horrible. I don't mind comments. I don't mind people like asking, hey, that seems like a lot of sugar. Hey, what about this? Whatever. But just everyone becoming a dietitian all of a sudden, I think that's what one commenter said, is just super weird. And just all of the assumptions and just tying every little thing to diet, every single thing they don't like. Oh, it's because this is what they're eating. Of course. It's just so weird. So yeah, I understand why someone would not want to post what they eat, even if their channel is like diet centered or they're making recipes or something. I totally get why someone would avoid What I Ate Today's. I'm going to keep doing them because I like doing them. And this was actually fun and informative to some degree, maybe. I've been posting, oh God, since the inception of my channel, I think. That's not true. I think it was a few years before I started doing What I Ate Today's on here. But yeah, it's been probably a good almost 10 years that I've been doing What I Ate Today's. They're fun, and I know a lot of you guys like them, and I know a lot of you get stuff out of them, either, you know, recipes to look up, because I try to share when I have a recipe where I got it from, and just like ideas for stuff, you know. I always get positive comments, and I know most people watching are not like looking for things to complain about or like a vegan diet can never be healthy. There's plenty of those. Oh, Jesus. There's one like, I'm a med student and I know that if you have to take supplements, that's bad. Okay. Anyway, I hope you like this. If you did like the video, consider subscribing and hitting the bell if you want to be notified every time I upload. Also, patreon.com/unnaturalvegan if you want to support the channel. I'm going to have another exclusive up for $5 plus patrons the next couple days or so. And shirts too. I have lots of cool, weird shirts. Not lots. I have like 2, don't I? 3. No, I have 3. And I have an Amazon store page too. I think that's it. Thank you, everybody. New video soon.